My name is Hamza Afifi. I'm 28 years old. I'm actually the PR Director of Soft2bet, which is a well-known, fast-growing company within the iGaming sector. Hamza Afifi came to Malta, let's say, 5 years ago, where I've started my first journey here. It was quite a beautiful, hectic, long journey, but seeing the results, we're glad to be here. Hamza had a dream to become a pilot in the beginning. So I used to study mathematics, and I had a degree in mathematics. And then I moved on to do what we call in Morocco, like the preparatory classes, to go to the engineer classes, high school. And I did that journey, in fact, and I graduated and I went to France as my first experience. When I went to do the exams, etc., there was a small incident where I suffered a kind of racism in the airport from someone in France, let's say, and that's the moment where I decided that, listen, this is not the path I want to be, this is not the country I want to be. Well, if I remember well, it was a night in Ramadan where I was flying around 10 p.m. and I came, and it was one flight at that airport. It was Airport Paris-Vatry, if I'm remembering right. And all the people there were like with French passport. I was the only one with non-French passport, plus the only one with not a white skin. So the guy just decided to not let me in and ask me for a, let's say, if I may call it like a not serious request, to go back to Morocco and bring those papers that I applied with the visa. So it was like a 3 days in, I would say, in the airport jail, because they didn't let me in, and I didn't want to go back to prove that I'm right. After 3 days, and thanks to the, let's say, the embassy of Morocco in France, it was sorted. But that gave me a, let's say, it was the first obstacle facing the reality that I faced in my life, because I was 18 years old, let's say, and alone in a country I never left, because I'm a unique son, so I never left my parents, etc. When I went there, it was quite a shock. But then I said, okay, I told my parents, the first thing I told them, listen, I don't want to study mathematics, I don't want to do anything, and I don't want this country. Let me go back, start over, no matter how much you spend. I lost 2 years, I don't care. When I came back to Morocco, I decided to start a new journey. So it's like a new one, start over with no matter what the sacrifices. I went and I did 3 years successfully. In 3 years, I got my bachelor. And then that moment, I had 3 options. The 3 options were like direct. Either go and pass the exams to access to like universities, other universities, to get the masters. And that was a tough journey, because you have all, you know, that universities, you have more than 2,000, 3,000 that are going to be fighting for like 100 places. Second option is to go to a private university and pay there. And the third option is to go try a new adventure outside of Morocco. Everyone goes to the classic choice of France, England, and then you have like France, England, Italy, Spain. Italy, Spain is out of question because I don't have the language. France, I had that incident. You have London, the last choice, because back in the time we don't know Malta, etc. So when you explore London, then you just see the financials and you see that the life in London is like way too expensive. And by coincidence, one of the nights I was like looking, and I saw that one of my ex-colleagues in school wrote on Facebook, start studying at London School of Commerce, Malta. And I was like, what is Malta? And so I clicked, and then I sent a message first. Congrats, what is that? That was like straight away, congrats, what is that? And when she told me like, this is like a university, I'm in Malta, blah, 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 blah. I made like some research, what is Malta? I checked, it's an island. Back in the time, again, information was very hard to access, because either like you don't know, so you don't know where to look, you don't have a lot of people before you went there, so no one went there. Even for our parents, it's hard to convince, because back in the time, no one knew it. So when I said that, like, it was like skeptical, what is that, etc. But you dig on it, and it was like the pet. It was the pet. I looked into it. I had a conversation with one of the agents at the school where I actually did my master, and there he explained to me everything, the expectation, etc. He gave me a kind of image of what I would be expecting, and I linked it with the financials. I had the conversation with my family, and here we are. Based on the conversation that I had with the agent back in the time that was working in the school, I received like photos of the outside of the building. So outside of the building, let's say how much will it cost me to rent, how much, etc. So I had a kind of background where I said, okay, so that's pretty good. The university looks beautiful from the outside. It's a huge. It doesn't take much. It takes only like 250 per month to live in Malta. That was the expectation, and that was what I have been told. So when I went there at the first time that you step in and you say, okay, you're going there is like Moroccan, so it's going to be easier. Some people are going to help you, etc. Then you go, and the first shock was like expectation that I'm from Rabat, so the capital is quite developed. And then when you go and to go to Europe, which is the European dream, and you find that your capital from where you are is better infrastructure, etc., that was the shock. Then the shock comes to be developed into coming to that beautiful building of the university and finding it only one floor in that building. So it's like going to I don't know, night classes, you know. But then, look, you are already there, so you have to take most out of it, you know. Come there, and I had a dream. The dream was to come to Europe, learn the knowledge, build that knowledge, and then come back and serve my country. So if I have that kind of dream in front of my eyes, then you just have to follow it. No matter obstacles that will happen, because obstacles will happen. If you don't fall down, you're not gonna go up. Well, there is something that I always heard when I first came. It's like this island have something that keeps you inside. No matter wherever you're gonna fly and come back, you're gonna miss the little rock. Let's say they call it the rock, the little rock. And when I came here, yes, it was a kind of cultural shock, because first of all, these guys speak like 70% of Arabic, so integration is very easy for us. They have the same advantage as France. They are less racist, if I may say, than other countries, and you have more chance to be kind of integrated in this country, because they are kind of like us. They are Mediterranean. They are very open. Once you speak their language, once you share the passion, they just adore you. And one of the things that made me love this country is like when I came in, like I got the chance to play football, and I used to play football, so I integrated a football team, futsal one to be especially, and it was great because those people, when they adore you and you do good for the team, they just integrate you, they take care of you like you are in Morocco, exactly. So they are quite similar, as you said, they're quite similar to our culture, and they are like, let's say, warm like us. So it was quite easy, and then you see the result 5 years after. I was supposed to be 1 year in Malta and then get my master's and go back to Morocco to work. But then you just get attached, you just get hooked. It depends on the person, because how I see it, I'm gonna talk about me and about the few people that I know that are now in almost the same level as myself. And did you do all this journey? And I'm not saying anything wrong about other side jobs, because that's bad, that's also part of the stuff. But I mean, you are a third country national that left your family behind, left your comfort zone, which is Morocco, next to your parents, etc., to fly to Europe and suffer in terms of like living with someone in a small room, etc., to go and work and limit yourself in a job that gets paid 800 euro or something, and you never grow. Because what is the goal that you came here for? You came here to grow. You came here to create something of yourself. But if you stay there, you're closing yourself opportunities. And then you see yourself, the potential that you have. Because let me tell you something, and this is something that I believe on, and I can say it in front of everyone. All the people that grew up, and I would say, like, let's say 80% of the people that grew up in all these third country nationals, most of them suffered in terms of like efforts, etc. So they have more, let's say, anger and more passion to achieve. So when they transform this kind of anger into a more focused way and use it in the place where they can succeed, it's easy for them to succeed. It's very easy for them to succeed because it's like in football. You played all your life in a turf, right? And you always injured your leg and it was conditions were bad, injuries, etc. When they put you in a beautiful grass, you're gonna be 10 times better because you have the conditions that you escaped from and now you have them. So why block yourself and put yourself again in that case where you're just gonna stay there? Because yes, you used to have a certain life, now you're alone, which means more freedom. You get paid in euro, money, you have girls, you have boys, you have fun, you have beautiful lifestyle, nightlife. You enter in a kind of comfort zone, you close yourself and think this is paradise. This is not paradise. You still can do better. Yes, you achieve the goal, but you can do much better. And that much better, just don't say yourself that this is who I am. Keep digging, keep looking for opportunities, and then you will see that back in the time when I was an animator and I got my first paycheck in December, which was Christmas, I got 1,000 euro. For me, it was the best salary in the world because I was so proud. But now when you look at your pay slips, you say, if I stayed there, I would be still the same person. But because I didn't stuck myself in that, I grew up. And trust me, I'm not saying that because it was like a Robocop journey. No, I forgot myself for 3 years, where either studies or light life or parties or etc. I forgot myself. But then at a certain moment, I got a click. And it was that incident that you told me, like the incident that I had, it was when I wanted to extend my ID and then they told me, no, you have to go back and then apply again. It was like a slap. It was a slap. So I was like normal. For me, everything is okay. I was having an apartment with like my best friends. We were going partying. I was going to school. Everything was normal. But then the moment I received that slap, then I said, okay, what did I achieve now? It was like a shock. So I said to myself, okay, there is two things here that will appear. You have a choice because my idea was finishing after 5 days. So I had to think quick. Would I stay and burn my ID? And then you enter to a new phase where you just stay in Europe without papers. And that's another suffering. That's another way of dignity, go down to the floor because you have no paper, you cannot shout. Or else I go back, take the time to step back again, think what did I do and what did I do wrong, and then you apply again because there is no chance. If you go back to your country, stay for 1 month, 2 months, 1 year, 2 years, and you go back, it's much better than staying in there because you're gonna say, oh no, I don't want to go back. No, there is not. No, there is always a solution. Just don't burn all your cards. Go back, reflect. So I went back, I decided, okay, this is not who Hamza that I want to build. I want to build a new one. So when I came back, actually there was the second 1 year passed before the first conference of Sigma. And there was this blockchain conference that they organized and I applied again to be a temp staff. And I got the job because they knew me from the one cleaner, but this time she gave me, let's say, a receptionist for the badges to achieve the badges. And that's where, like, then shock. 2 days before the exhibition, we were playing with the school in a kind of tournament, and I got a crucial ligament. And I sent a message to this lady and I tell her, sorry, but I can't come because I cannot walk. And I was like crying all that night because it's like you're missing a kind of 600, 700 euro in 1 day job. So I said to myself, like things I lost, you know. And at that moment, you don't have to stop believing on yourself. So I see a small post at midnight that she's saying she needs someone to come just in the morning for 3 hours to help with the computer. So I said, this is a job where you can sit down. And I called straight away the lady and I told her, listen, I need that job. I need to be there. So I showed up the next day with like crutches and I went to the place where I had to fix some stuff. And funny enough, the COO was passing and he asked me a kind of question, how can I fix this? So I fixed all that problem straight away. And when I fixed that problem, he told me, listen, can you stay please till the end? So the job of 3 hours moved into a job of 48 hours because the conference was like 48 hours. So I stayed there all day. And then 1 week later, I received a call, can you please show up to our office? And I received a job offer as kind of adequate to the same thing that I was doing, where I will be treating assistants of tickets, etc. The moral of the story there, it's not like because I'm a Superman or something. It's just because I received a kind of obstacle at that moment because I broke my leg. Something bad happened. But that something bad happened. I cried, I crashed down, I lost hope. But at the same time, I said to myself, there must be a solution. So when I received that, I showed up, no matter how hurted I am at that moment because of my knee. I went there. And it was kind of funny because when the first day where you got the job and where they saw you, you were the crutches and you still showed up. And all these 2 years where I worked at 2 years and a half when I worked at Sigma, I cannot take a kind of sick leave because they know that what can get worse until you're like broken. But the moral here is that, and I can evoke a kind of small situation happened. So I was with the crutches working there, and I had also 2 other friends that showed up for the job, and they had like both legs. But then during the job while we were working, we were too busy. You have like, it's a conference, it's an expo, Malta and Blockchain Summit, and I was there kind of sorting out the issues. And then they sneaked out and they went to McDonald's to eat. So you have 2 examples, someone that wanted that and someone that just doesn't have the mind for that. So what are you there for? Are you there to work, or are you there to just take the piss? And I would say, if you gonna be there, think about something more valuable. You're representing yourself. You're representing your parents, you're representing your family, you're representing your country. So you have to be the ambassador of that country. You don't need to be appointed by the king to go and be in that country as an ambassador. You are already an ambassador. So always show it and behave like an ambassador. Values, because whatever they see and whatever they will feel, they will think about all the Moroccans or all the third countries the same. If you go there and steal money or party or destroy, we're gonna be always in the same bucket, and all of us, we're gonna be in the same bucket. But if you show the right example, all the next people that will come after you, they will be treated with respect because they will think that everyone is the same based on the good image, not the bad one. After Sigma, I had like conversation when I was an assistant with like certain clients when I was helping them in the assistance, so that those clients actually gave feedback to the founder that person is a quite good one, so you should maybe promote him to be an account manager, and I want him to be my account manager. So the founder came to me and he told me, listen, we want you as an account manager, you had kind of some skills that we need there. And I went there. So I went there and I remember they told me, Hamza, don't do sales. You don't know how to sell. In my first day as an account manager. I said, okay, fine, I'm not gonna do sales. So they gave me some accounts, I was doing the account management of the clients. Funny enough, the clients that I had, when I had the conversation with them, it was so pleasant, friendly, communication, etc. They decided to buy more things from me. So I ended up at the end of the quarter being the second top sales within all the sales guys that are. So they said, okay, how come you're doing that? They didn't trust me in the beginning. So they went and they double checked all my sales and commissions. And they figured out that I did it correctly. So they promoted me after, I think, if I'm not saying mistake, 8 months to become a senior account manager. So after 1 year, I became a senior account manager, moving from, let's say, a salary of 3 numbers to a salary of 4 numbers, right? And then just before the pandemic, the head of sales resigned, and then there was an opportunity in front of my face. I was one of the most successful salespeople that he had, but I was young. So he decided to give an interview to someone that had 25 years of experience in his life. And then I went to him straight away. That was the moment where I even called my father and back in the time, my girlfriend, now my wife, and I told them, listen, I have 2 choices here. Either I fold and I wait for my time, and maybe this guy, he's gonna be successful, and I will have to wait 3 more years because he's gonna be good. Or else I step up and ask the question to this founder, communicate with him. Give me the chance and let me prove to you. So I sent him a long Facebook message at the night, tell him, listen, I was always there for you and I want you to trust me. Give me 1 month of trial. And thank God, after that, he told me, let's do a kind of interview with you also, see what you propose as a career, as a kind of path. And he gave me the chance to become head of sales. Just 1 year and a half after like 2 years after I was a cleaner, basically, back in the time. So that was the moment also where I said, wow, 1 year and a half, I was a cleaner at the same conference. 1 year and a half later, I'm the head of sales managing a sales team. There was always ups and downs. And I had some moments where I was like really broke, where to be honest with you, where I worked like, let's say like more than 1 hour just to go to get a can from a friend and go eat. We were drinking water from the tap. It was tough because you were trying to always work it out yourself and with all the friends that you had at the time. So when I was a cleaner in kitchen in Valletta, so that moment where I was like cleaning everything, so I said to myself, this is what I want to be? How come? So I started crying there. The second moment was when I broke my knee, so it was tough for me because football was one of my dreams and it just vanished with 1 second. I think those were tough moments where you are, but those are the best lessons I had in my life. Because without that, without me falling down, without me having issues or going to do that, I wouldn't have met these people, I wouldn't have found these opportunities. And I would like to thank the person that told me that you cannot extend your visa, because of them, I went back to my country, and because of them, I had to think about myself again. And even I can thank the guy from France that put me down, because I had to change a whole path. So whenever a door closes, just don't think that it's the only close, because there is only one that will give you this opportunity. Just go and open another one and go full on, and if it's not the good one, close it again, go open a new one. I did the success, if I can call it success, at the age of 28. Some people will do it at 21. Some people will do it at 40. Each one has his clock. And just follow your path. Do good, it's gonna come back. You have to just go on step by step. Now, at that moment when I became head of sales, on a Sunday I receive a message on Skype from one of my clients, because working at Sigma, which is, people that don't know Sigma, it's a conference where you have a lot of iGaming companies that come and do an exhibition, take stand, and you take care of them the whole year. And you're dealing only with COOs, CEOs, and marketing, CMOs, marketing. So you're technically, as a person, dealing with the management of a lot of gaming companies that have millions and millions of money. So if you're in position of the best database in the world, and they know who you are. I was on the video interviews, they know me by name. I receive a message on LinkedIn from the founder of Soft2bet, where he tells me, everything is okay, are you available for a call? We have something interesting for you. So I said, yes, sure. I was thinking it's work related. So I receive a call on Sunday from the COO of the company, and she tells me, Hamza, we want you. So it's like football. I received an offer. It's like funny, they know you. I didn't go to look for it. I received an offer. This is the package that we want you to become the PR director of the company. Back in the time, for me, PR, it was press release. I didn't even know what is it. So then I was like looking before accepting, it was public relations director. And I was like, how come I'm head of sales, now public relations? They saw the image that I was building in the social media, etc., that I have communication skills. So people out there around the world are always watching you. No matter who you are, they are watching you. Because you are a third country national that came from another country. In 2 years, you made yourself a name in the middle of all the European and all around the world. So who are you? And this not apply to me, apply to all the ones that want to work. You have it's like we are in a race, right? And all the EUs technically are kind of a step forward, and you're there. But then you don't stop like the turtle, you keep going. They are the rabbits. You keep going. If you do good, you're gonna arrive. If you don't do good, you're gonna stay and wait, because you say, no, they have a yellow passport, they have a red passport, they have this, they have advantage. They do have advantage because they are born in that country. It's normal that they are treated this way. But that does not mean that you are wrong. You just have to double the effort, and trust me, the success have more taste because you fight it for it. So I received that offer, and they asked me a question like, if you want to take this position, we want you in Cyprus, not in Malta. And these guys, technically all the companies, if they want you, they will put all the things on the table for you to accept. So apart from the salary, they told me, your son, his study is on us. The house, it's on us. The car, it's on us. Relocation, it's on us. So imagine, 2.5 years before, I was fighting renting a room. Now I'm offered a house, a car, studies for my son, and the flight and moving everything, which means that these people want you and they're watching you. So that's the moment where I decided to move on. And now it has been 1 year, technically 1 year and 2 months where I'm there. And trust me, I am in a certain level far away from where I was. But I think that this is not really the final step. There is much more. There is much more, because what comes after, now I'm working for someone. Maybe one day I can be the boss of myself. Maybe one day I can be something else. You never stop. You stop the day that you think of yourself successful between you and yourself. Doesn't mean that others need to say that you're successful, because people will always say that you're bad. People will say that you are the best. But between you and yourself, you just have to keep going until the day you go under the ground, technically. I would tell you the secret of all of this. The secret of all of this, it's a mix of a lot of ingredients, right? And the first ingredient was put when I was a kid. It's coming from the education. Because your parents teach you not to cheat. Because I told you, we were 3 people. 1 stayed with a broken leg, 2 went to eat because no one could see them. So technically it's like I chose to be there and I want to represent, so it's education. Education is not enough because there is studies. So you need a certain level of languages, English, French, Portuguese, Spanish, always good, learn more. Then that languages allows you to communicate with people without a barrier, because no matter what country you go, you are the one coming to them. So you need to adapt to their culture, right? And culture is all language first. So that also is a step forward, because I was talking English, I was talking French, so it's easy to communicate. Second ingredient is like education plus the degree of master. There will be a small degree, like ingredient, we're gonna be talking about luck, because you're gonna be in the right place, in the right moment for that to happen. The most important ingredient that I would say is the hard work. And I will give you an example. When I was assistant in terms of like ticketing, I received a call on a Sunday at 2 a.m. because my number was on the website. If in case you have a problem registering, they call you. I received a call at 2 a.m. on Sunday where I was not supposed to work. It was in the night. I answer, so first fight that you have with your wife, why you're answering. I answer, hello, I have a problem with my ticket. I told him, excuse me, sir, where are you calling from? He told me Mexico. So this guy, Mexico is the day for him, right? And he's a client. It's gonna take me 5 minutes to treat the issue. If I ignore the call, it can be almost the same result. But then that person that called at 2 a.m. my time, I helped him like for 1 minute or something. I told him, sorry, but we are in Europe and it's already 2 a.m. So if I can call you again, blah, blah, blah. They told me yes. Turn out that that person will be my client 6 months later, and you're gonna spend a lot of money where I got the commission. So I got that. You do extra efforts because they're gonna come back on you. They're gonna come back on you because I always give this example, Ronaldo and Messi. Why they are the leaders of the football now? Because when people finish the training, these 2 guys are still training. You always have an advance on people. Because if everyone is throwing the same paper, but you stay 1 hour more throwing them, you have 1 hour of practice. The same thing apply for the job, the same thing apply for work, sports, anything. Do the efforts, and the effort is the most important thing. And the last ingredient I would say is to have a good heart. Because if you're gonna help, as you said, sharing, it's gonna come back on you. But if you do bad, someone will come and it's gonna turn around you. So just be good and it's gonna come back to you. So it's not one secret, but it's a kind of tagine of secrets. I would start first by giving them a kind of, whoever has big expectations or think about Europe, Europe is another country far from your country that have certain lifestyle that is different from ours. They are human like us. They have better conditions than us, right? But they are not the gods, because it's kind of, you are in the same, as a human we are the same. It's just the conditions are better there. So for me, I would say, go there with a goal and put it in front of your eyes. You know when you have a dog and you put for him something and you keep it, always keep a point that you want to become a successful person, or you want to achieve. If your goal is to go and become a chef in a cuisine, you start as a dishwasher, don't stop there, because you know dishwasher gonna turn into kitchen helper, sous chef, chef. It's a long journey. But within this long journey, you will find obstacle number one, expectations versus reality. Don't put your hands down, because it doesn't matter. No matter what, it's still okay, because think about all the others that are in worse conditions than you. So you're already there. Second obstacle is gonna come, either discrimination, job opportunities, etc. Doesn't matter, retry again. But at the same time, keep the target. Then you're gonna forget yourself, because the moment you're gonna having a small job, money gonna come in. Some people go to the nightlife, or friends, or etc. Sometimes, and we are human, people forget why they came here, and they go for distraction. Or else they go into a comfort zone and they say, okay, I'm good here, I don't want to move. No, don't forget the goal where you came. Come out from this comfort zone. It's gonna take you 2 months, 1 year, 2 years, doesn't matter. Keep focus. For all the third countries that are back there in Morocco or in any other country, focus on what you want to become. Say, I want to be in the next 3 years, this person. The moment you do these steps, and the moment you look into, let's say, the technicalities, you will succeed. You will succeed no matter what. From my own experience, 80% of all the people that I know from Morocco, because I know a Moroccan community, are already successful in what they are doing. They are still not there, but they already succeed to be at least independent, in a good situation. You see a lot of them getting married, a lot of them with good jobs, so you're kind of proud, because back in the time, all of you were kind of putting €1 each to kind of get a meal together. Now we're talking about where we're gonna eat. Back in the time, it was, shall we go to Lidl to buy stuff and go home and cook, etc., because it was that enough. So if I did it, you can do it. That's the reality. And stay focused on your goal. You can do it, because there is no, let's say, there is no magic button that you will press and come back with a Golf 7 or whatever. No, it's hard work, and it's doing good, and it's trust, and it's self-control. Like I can talk all day, but it's up to the person that's gonna come. If you want to be at this seat, for example, in 2 years or 3 years. And it's up to you. It's not up to me or up to anyone, because each one, now my goal now is thinking about how I would grow up my son, because I kind of succeeded in something that I'm sure about. I have a kind of son that have a kind of secure future, and that's it, right? So do the good and do the step, and everything gonna follow.